Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a message coming to you which is all based on the course that I've been at over the last 3 days here in Melbourne. And I wanted to kind of dive into some of the learnings that I found from that, and I've definitely been sharing a bunch of that with you guys over the last couple of days. But I wanted to pretty much refer back to a really main part of what the course was kind of all about, and it was something that I actually had never experienced before, and it absolutely made me really think into this whole concept around the fact that, it's our ability to make meaning that really creates either a lifeless life, a lifeless existence, or a truly enlivening existence. And the reason why I wanted to unpack it with this is because ultimately the course that I was doing all around passion and purpose and helping people discover what that is for them, what are they most passionate about, what is their purpose in life, was a really big part of what we were doing. And the way that we were doing it, though, was very, very different to all the previous trainings I've had in this regard, except bar one book that I've read and studied into the work of Caroline Myss. And the book that I dove into was Sacred Contracts, and it really dove into very much what I did on this course. So it was all around archetypes. So an archetype is like a model that we see as the best version of a particular set of behavior. So we actually use archetypes in our language all the time when we're talking about, he's such a knight in shining armor, or she's such a drama queen, or whatever. That's talking in archetypal kind of language. And what we did in this course was we actually worked with 8 particular archetypes, and it's weird because there's hundreds, if not probably thousands, of different archetypes, but we particularly focused on these 8, and we did work around these 8 in terms of identifying which one of these archetypes were really our passions and which was kind of our talent. And from that, we went through some neuro-linguistic programming type style exercises that we did with partnerships, or NLP. NLP is, kind of a lot of what Tony Robbins bases his modalities off. So I'm not going to go into depths in terms of explaining exactly what that is right now, but I want you guys to kind of get the idea that we use these particular archetypes and found which ones resonated fully with us. And then we did some work with a partner in terms of kind of stepping into the shoes of that archetype. And it was a really weird, kind of crazy experience that we kind of all kind of felt like who would get this outside of these 4 walls? People would think we were absolutely crazy. Some of these experiences that we were going through, it was kind of weird, but I kind of like weird, so it was good. But the point is, if we get so attached to logic and rationale and we don't allow ourselves to, to just dream a little, to just get creative, to just get outside of the conscious overthinking mind and actually tap into the subconscious, if we don't have ways of doing that and we don't see the value of doing that, we end up in a pretty meaningless existence where we just can't seem to find meaning. And anytime we kind of do, we find the logic and the rationale behind why it may or may not be true. And then we keep in this kind of bored existence, where we don't really dream big and get sight of the current realm of what we have. We kind of sit in the realm of probability and we don't tap into the realm of possibility. And so this was just a great example of using this, ancient wisdom of the archetypes, and diving back into history and identifying where they came from and how we use them today. I know it might be over the top of our heads at this point if you've never really heard of this before, but my point is that we use these different archetypes or different, there was a knight, and there was an innocent adventurer, and there was an oracle, and there was a sage, and there was all these different types, right? Different types of archetypes that navigate towards different behavioral patterns and different personality traits. And they all have their own unique gifts and strengths and weaknesses and blind spots, right? But when we were able to identify with a couple of these, and then from that place, go through these NLP techniques and kind of visualize and kind of embody the archetypes, we were able to create kind of hidden meanings, as to our past, where we've come from, where we're going, who we are, all these different things that we wouldn't necessarily be able to do if we weren't able to go get outside of the logic and the rationale and the here and now and actually create meaning in, these archetypes, this ability to look at the abstract and create meaning and bring it back into our reality and use it for empowerment and inspiration and our fuel. And so what my point is, sorry, this is going around a bit, but, from doing this work, I was able to really tap into a lot of hidden meaning that was super energizing and super empowering. And when we can find meaning behind what we do or where we've come from or what things mean, and we find empowering meaning, we can create an enlivening existence full of empowerment, full of direction, full of purpose and passion, instead of, not wanting to go there, not wanting to go kind of look behind the curtain and just want to look at what we can see, feel, hear and touch and whatever and engage with in our senses right here, right now, that doesn't allow us to get beyond the curtain and kind of find these hidden meanings that are truly enlivening and can get us moving in a really empowered pathway forward. So, really, really hope that today's message is actually resonating with you guys. It's super hard for me to try and squish into like 10, 15 or 20 minutes kind of the meaning and the purpose behind the whole realm of looking at archetypal patterns for empowerment. And it's very new to me because it was a very feminine course, and I'm very much used to all of Tony Robbins, Dr. John DeMartini, a lot of people like that, in the realm of personal development. And so it was really a new angle for me to be in a room just of women and one incredible man, I must say. And take this very much more going with the flow, creative, imaginative perspective on personal development. And I'm really grateful that I got that sort of teaching, and I've got a lot more of that going on this year to sort of round out my own teachings and ability to help and serve others. So really, really hoping that this is of some sort of value to you, and the message and the purpose for today's message is ultimately that where in your life are you not really creating any meaning? You're not getting above and beyond what's here, right now. And so you're feeling kind of lethargic. You're feeling kind of stuck. You're feeling kind of bored with life and your existence because you're missing this. Look, what's behind the curtain? What could this possibly mean? Where's some hidden mystery and meaning that I could create that would enliven my soul, get me energized, inspired, and empowered to move outside of the known and into the unknown, because I can find meaning and I can find how things are linking and leading me on a certain pathway. And a lot of people in religion kind of get that, right? But if you don't have a religious background, potentially, like myself, I went to a Christian school, but I didn't grow up with any belief system in terms of religion. And so I take a different pathway. It's a spiritual pathway, but it's not a religious pathway. And so I think that, speaking from my own experience and the way I grew up, we weren't really given any realms of creating, hidden meaning, and it was very much more so, what can you prove, what's here, what's right now, what's logical, what's rational, and so I've had to develop it in a different way. So depending on where you've come from, whether you have a religious background of your own, and if you're really happy with that, great. If you, because I speak to a lot of people who start doubting their religious background and they want to find a new way that's not full of dogma and rules in terms of the religious rules, and they want to find their more spiritual pathway forward that may or may not include that religious background. Or if you've, like me, and you've come from more of a, I don't like to call myself an atheist. I haven't made this decision that there is no existence of anything like that, but I haven't grown up with a religious background, so I've created meaning through spirituality, being attached to something larger than just myself, and creating meaning and purpose along that pathway. And what I've been studying over the last over this last 3 days at this course I've been doing has been a new realm of using archetypes to create that meaning and look back at the patterns of your life and your existence to associate those different patterns of personality and different archetypal patterns to see and venture into the possibility of what your passion and purpose is. It's just another sort of realm of doing that. So definitely want to check in with you guys, and it's kind of a shorter one today because I've got to rush off. I've got a live training that I'm doing with my group in about 20 minutes or 15 minutes. So definitely want to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join me. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, you guys know that I love getting to engage with you guys. And so let me know. But I've got Herb and Stephen and Eric and Sam. Hello to you, my friend. And Eric, hello to you. And Sam, so good to hear end of your course. Thank you so much, Sam. Can't wait to share much more of it with you. And Shridhar, hello to you. And Dennis and Alexandria, hello to you. And Shridhar, yeah, love having you here. And Marlon and Sam, archetypes, that's new to me. Yeah, so it's something that I've been studying probably for since the end of last year, probably around September. For myself personally, using the realm of archetypes through Caroline Myss. Great book, Sacred Contracts, pretty in-depth, pretty intense, but I found it super fascinating. I love challenging my own belief systems, having new things to discover and new ways of looking at things. So if that's like you, definitely I recommend the work of Caroline Myss. And this course that I did was much more easily accessible than that work, sort of like from the beginning stages, and just working with 8 of what Caroline Myss in the book of Sacred Contracts, she introduces you to something like nearly 80 different archetypes, and there's many more than that, but those were the main ones that she works in the book with. But this was just focusing on 8 of the different archetypes, and throughout the year I'm going through these different courses and bringing in more and more archetypes. So they're just a good way of understanding yourself, understanding other people with different patterns of behavior and personality. So yes, love that this is new to you, Sam, and Leslie and Rose and Abhishek and Philippe and Andrew and Tanya and Ashley and Domna and Sam. That's empowering course you did. I'm jealous. Well, you'll be getting all of my teaching, Sam. So that's kind of what I do, is use myself as a guinea pig with all things self-development, and then systemize and simplify whatever I find most valuable so that I can help to fast track your success. And I know you're in my course, so you'll be getting much of it. So no need to be jealous, Sam. And loving that you're finding some cool stuff here, Dennis. And Carolyn's here. And Rawiti, thank you for your kind compliments. And James is here, and Ken, I'm doing really well, and I'm grateful to have you here, and loving that you're finding some cool thoughts here, Rawiti. And your eyes are so big, you're just joking. I love it, Ken. And thank you so much, Ken, and good morning to you, Bob, and anybody who's hasn't said hi. I'm super grateful to have each and every one of you guys here. So definitely, thanks, Sam. Got to have a sense of humor. And as always, guys, I am always sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. It's heating up here in Melbourne just before I take off to freezing cold New Zealand tomorrow, but I'm super excited, going to visit some family and experience a new part of the world. I've never been to Wellington in New Zealand, which is where I'm traveling off to tomorrow, so can't wait to check in with you guys once I'm there. And I'm really grateful for all of you joining me. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Sending you all of my love. Much love.